house in the countryside suddenly lights up. The weird thing is, the lady of the house was sleeping. Awakened, Caitlin went to the window to check. She saw a trash can that had somehow tipped over underneath. Caitlin went down to see what was going on, but then she realized the power seemed to be out. Caitlin continued to walk downstairs. When she heard a rustling sound, she was horrified to discover a strange figure, and she heard a strange sound. Caitlin originally wanted to hide under the bed, but she found it was full of stuff. She had no choice but to pull out her suitcase. Suddenly she was startled by the noise. Caitlin ducked under the bed. That's when the creature jumped onto the bed, but it didn't seem to notice, and jumped right back down. Caitlin finally got a good look at its feet. These feet were so weird. It was obvious. It didn't belong to any creature on Earth. Then the creature jumped out the window. Caitlin breathed a sigh of relief. She was ready to call the police. It was only after being dialed that I realized the phone was no longer functioning. After checking, it was discovered that the power had completely collapsed. So Caitlin was ready to drive to town. I don't know how long she'd been driving. Caitlin found an overturned van. There was no one in it. Then she saw a house not far away, seeing the collapsed item at the door. And then she realized that he wasn't the only one who was attacked last night. So Caitlin got ready to leave town and boarded a bus, not realizing that monsters had already covered the area. These people had their hands above their heads, and they had a strange look on their faces. Apparently they were performing some kind of ritual. Cat Heron, who saw this scene, quickly escaped from here. It seems that mysterious creature has already enveloped the entire town. She had to return home again. She seemed to see that another creature had arrived in the basement. As she watched the creature slowly approach, Caitlin got under the table. Good thing it didn't kill her. She's about to be scared to death. Out of instinct, Caitlin took out her scissors and tried to fight him off. He didn't give Caitlin another chance. He came roaring at her. Caitlin made it all the way to the car, and the monster was fast on her heels. But in the nick of time, the guy got stuck in the car. Looking at the exposed gasoline, Caitlin ignited it without saying a word. And then she quickly moved away from the car, and as expected, the car experienced a violent explosion. It seems that the long-legged monster has been solved like this. Caitlin didn't have time to react. A red light suddenly pinned her to the ceiling. Katerin's entire body can no longer move. Caitlin saw that the surroundings were surrounded by alien monsters. The monster extended its finger onto Caitlin's head. In an instant, Caitlin's memory was opened up. Caitlin saw herself as she once was. She had killed her sister unintentionally. As the scene shifted again, Caitlin was in a special space, and across from her is sitting across from her sister, who she's been guiltily thinking about all day. This time, Caitlin didn't run away. She reaches out her hand and apologizes, and with her sister out of the way, Hector felt that he was falling fast. I am falling rapidly downwards. Caitlin, falling to the ground, turned her head to the sky, although she didn't know what was happening. But my own knot seems to have been completely opened up. From then on, Caitlin had a new life, and she began to live her life with a positive outlook. She greeted her neighbors warmly, and was greeted with the same warmth. It was as if all of a sudden, the whole town turned into a harmonious utopian community.